Hi there, welcome to another edition of the Global Economic Outlook. My name is Philip, and as usual, I'll take you through one major event in the global economy. Remember to click the subscribe button and set up the notification so that you can receive regular updates from this channel. So, the topic today is the economics of the Olympic Games. As you might, I'm sure you're already aware that the Olympic Games kicked off um, in Tokyo, Japan, uh, on the 23rd of July. That's about a year after it was originally scheduled to start. The opening ceremony, of course, was largely subdued because the games this year is not hosting fans due to the coronavirus pandemic. There are about 205 countries participating in the Olympics this year. That's actually higher than the number of recognized countries according to the United Nations, which stands at 193. But of course, the metrics used by the International Olympic Committee, the IOC, the body in charge of organizing the Olympics, is different from what the United Nations uses. So North Korea is the only country which pulled out. Due to the corona virus pandemic. All the other countries are represented at the games. So let's look at the brief history. So Olympic Games actually started around 776 BC, and went from then to around 393 AD. So that's actually when the ancient Olympic Games were held, and was held in Olympia, Greece, which also explains why uh, um, the name Olympics has come to stay. But it stopped, in 393 AD and didn't return until 1896 when it was hosted by Athens, the capital of Greece. And since then, there have been 28 editions of the Summer Olympics and 23 editions of the Winter Olympics. And it's held every 4 years. Between the Summer and Winter Olympics, there's usually a 2 year gap. Um, so why is Tokyo 2020 holding in 2021? Of course, the coronavirus pandemic forced the postponement of many sporting activities. The European Championship Euro 2020 and the South American equivalent Copa America are just examples of some of the games that were moved from 2020 to 2021. In fact, a lot of fans wanted them to would have preferred that the games were cancelled, but the IOC opted against that. If you look at the data which we show you here, you see how many respondents, actually wanted the games to be cancelled. This is actually a data according to Statista, one of the leading data agencies in the world. You see, South Korea, about 86% of the respondents in South Korea actually wanted the games cancelled. And Japan, which is the old city, around 78% of the people wanted the games cancelled in Japan. But it wasn't cancelled, and the games, of course, already started. But we are interested in the economics of the games. So we look now at how much does it cost to host the Olympics? How much really does it cost to host the Olympics? Well, as you must have observed, there are a lot of countries. To host 205 countries requires a lot of infrastructure and facility development, which is why many of the cities which have hosted in the past are also big cities. Uh, so this year, it is estimated that it will cost Tokyo around $28 billion to host the tournament, to host the games. This is actually a massive increase from what was budgeted for, and you have to also account for the cost of the postponement of the games. It was originally scheduled for 2020, and of course, preparation was already in top gear. So now that it's been moved to 2021, now that it's happening in 2021, a lot of renovation still has to take place, in Tokyo. But if you look at the costs behind the Olympic Games in other cities, you see that it's not just because it was postponed, it's actually also very expensive. For instance, in Rio de Janeiro, which hosted the Summer Olympics in 2016, it cost $13.7 billion. In London in 2012, it cost $15 billion. And when you look at the Winter Olympics as well, Sochi, uh, it cost $21.9 billion. Pyongyang in 2018 cost $12.9 billion. So it's actually very, very expensive to host the Olympics. But do these old cities make their money back? I'm sure that must be the question on your mind. Uh, it's a difficult question to answer, and the reasons are simple. The benefits are not only tangible, they are also intangible. So you're talking not only about the tickets and the broadcasting revenues, but you talk about tourism, which happens not only during the events, but some people actually come to admire a city by just watching it through the Olympics and later make up their minds to go visiting. But when we look at the monetary value only, according to Marketplace, the games in Canada left the state with a huge debt, which took them almost 30 years to pay back. The same happened for Athens in Greece, and even Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, which was the last city which hosted the Summer Olympics in 2016. In fact, the only exception to the loss making has been Los Angeles in 1984, and that is because they already had existing facilities and infrastructure, which made it easy for them to host the tournament. So sponsorship and broadcasting deals are major avenues by which they make money is made. And in fact, if these games in Tokyo were cancelled, the IOC would have had to refund partners up to $4 billion. That's according to MarketWatch. Uh, but the additional concern now stands that the fans are not allowed into the stadium, which means that Tokyo will lose an estimated $800 million in ticket sales, and that's massive. So it remains to be seen if they will be able to recoup a large part of the $28 billion that they will be spending, but it will be difficult. If you look at the data we show you here about the millions of spectators that have attended past Olympic Games, you see why Tokyo might really be worried. In London in 2012, there were $8.2 million people in attendance, spectators. And then when you look at Beijing in 2008, you see 6.5 million tickets sold, which is huge, which is massive. But if you look at the number of athletes in attendance this the Tokyo Games, you have 11,500 athletes from 205 countries represented. So if you want to know how much an Olympic medal is worth, of course, Bosul has an answer. They say the gold medal is worth only about $830, while the silver medal is worth $462. That's not much. The bronze medal actually is worth very, very little. But the thing is that countries also try to augment this by paying the athletes who win any of the medals. For instance, in the US, the athletes will get $37,500 if they win gold medals, $22,500 for the silver medal, and $15,000 for the bronze medal. Um, so the thing is, but the value, of course, of an Olympic medal is higher than even what they get, because those medals can be auctioned in future. Of course, there are other variables involved in that if that is to happen, because it depends on the individual, it depends on the games. But of course, the highest value which has been recorded so far was the Olympic gold medal, one of the Olympic gold medals which was won by Jesse Owens, which was sold in 2013 for $1.46 million. So that's it on the Global Economic Outlook this week. We'll see you next time with another edition. Thank you.